It's a beautiful day, the sun is upon us, and it's a fact that even the lowest man can rise to the highest heavens when tested with a proper reward. Welcome to my channel, Forex Bolivar. Today we're going to be talking about chart patterns, okay, and how they're being applied to trading, how you identify them on your charts from the highest time frame to the lowest time frame, their applications and their purposes. So chart patterns are basically formations on your charts that gives you an idea of what the market is doing, the market condition and the market terrain at that moment. So we have multiple chart patterns. There are many chart patterns in Forex, but some of them have actually been filtered out that can be applied to trading. If you check documentations out there, you see that there are over 50 chart patterns. Well, by my count the last time, and from the documents I've read, the books I've read, there are quite a lot. But I'm actually this kind of person that like to summarize things and keep things very simple, because most mentors just like to complicate things. I don't know what their intentions are, but like I said, I've summarized these chart patterns and I've just break them down to just four. Summarize them to 4 chart patterns that I feel that every other chart pattern fall, among these 4. It all depends on application. Okay, so now we have 4 types of chart patterns. Like I said, not for by my own analysis, by my own compression of the materials I've learned over time. So I've just reduced them to 4. And like I said, it's all about application. It's all about understanding the idea behind these chart patterns. Okay, so the commonest of them all are these 4 here. Number 1, you have the double top, we have the double bottom, we have the head and shoulder, and then we have the compression. I call it compression. Okay, under compression we have things like falling wedge, rising wedge, we have triple bottom, we have flag pattern. The list goes on and on. Like I said, it's just for you to understand the general concept, the general idea and what they represent. Okay, and keep things simple. Like I said, you don't have to know everything in the forex market. Well, you should broaden your knowledge, but be careful, because it can backfire on you. Too much knowledge can weary you out. Okay, so try and keep things simple at all times. That's my style. If you want to adopt that, you're welcome. So like I said, like I mentioned earlier, application of chart patterns. Okay, chart patterns can be applied in different ways in the market. 1, you can use them as trend reversals, analyzing the direction of the trend. And then number 2, you can use them for charts for trade entries. You can use them as continuation pattern. That's number 3. You can use them as continuation patterns. Okay, so that's basically the 3 things I use them for. 1, for identification of trend, for trade entry, and also for continuation. Okay, so we're going to be taking these chart patterns individually and treating them. We're going to be starting with the double top, one of my favorite chart patterns. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, we have multiple chart patterns. Okay, we have multiple chart patterns. Depends on the ones you want to adopt, and I advise you to just adopt a few and master them. Like my favorite kickboxer, I will say, Bruce Lee. He says something that, I'm not scared of the man that knows 1,000 kicks, but I'm scared of the man that have mastered just 1 kick. And that's it, guys. You don't have to know it all. Just stick to the ones, or the one that will make you that money you're looking for. So come with me, let's talk about double top. Okay, so now I'm going to try and illustrate what this basically means, okay, the idea behind double tops and most of these chart patterns. Okay, so this is the idea here. This is what we mean by double top. Okay, we have a push to the upside and then it comes down. We have a push to the upside and then a push to the downside. Okay, so not to get you confused. Alright, another name for this pattern is called the M pattern. Okay, so once we have a push to the upside, okay, we call it a top. This is a top, and this is also a top. Okay, so you have two tops. That's why they call it double tops. All right. So now the characteristics of a double top is that once it makes a pattern like this, all right, then we have something called the neckline. Okay, so this is the idea. All right, and then this neckline forms something called a support. Okay, so this is just the basic information, the basic idea behind the double top. Okay, call it double top pattern. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind. It's not as basic as you think, but it's very, very powerful. These are powerful chart patterns, guys. Okay, so this is the idea behind double top pattern. All right, so now this place we call it support. We call it the neckline. Okay, well, people call it neckline, but it's just basically support and resistance. All right, so we call it, so I call it a support, but then just for it, just to broaden your scope. Okay, others people like to call it neckline. That's what the textbook call it also, but like I said, it's just for you to understand the general idea behind these things. Okay, so we have a push down, then a push to the downside, we have a bounce to the top, we have a bounce, and so what's basically happening is that we are having this. Okay, so the thing is that one thing with top and bottom with double top is that there's actually a range, because we only have three movements in the market. We have an uptrend, we have a downtrend, and then we have a sideways trend. Okay, a consolidation. Okay, the markets can never do more than that. Okay, so most of these double bottoms and these patterns we're dealing with, okay, they all fall in the category of consolidations. Okay, so now there are some basic things you also have to understand about the double top pattern, sorry. Okay, so now we have, because the thing is that on the chart you will not see it this visible all the time, you won't see it this clear, you won't get this kind of clear pattern all the time. The chart will not give you the perfect formation at all times for all the chart patterns. Okay, so like I said, the idea is for you to understand the basic idea, okay, the basic formation of these patterns and what they represent. Okay, because they'll not always come in a textbook form like this, and as you go through the charts you get to understand what I'm trying to pass over to you. So now we have something like this. Okay, push to the upside, to the downside, and then you can see something like this, and then something like this. Okay, now we call this kind of double pattern, we call it kind of double top pattern. a double top pattern with a higher touch. Higher touch. Okay, we call this double top pattern with a double top pattern with a higher touch. Okay, that's the left, the right arm is having a higher touch. Okay, so you're going to have this. Okay, so this is a double top. This is a double top pattern with a higher touch. Of course, with a neckline, and then double top pattern with a higher touch. Okay, and also we have another one, so I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, so Price can also do this, push to the upside, downside, to the upside, and does something like this. With a neckline. So we call this double top pattern with a lower touch. With a lower touch. Okay, you can see here we have equal highs here. Then here we have one high higher than the other, and then we have this one lower than the other top. Okay, so these are the patterns you'll be seeing. And mind you, like I mentioned earlier, okay, like I mentioned, that we can have this happening, okay, and then we can also have this happening, or it can be also like this. All right, but like I said, it just gives you a general, just for you to understand the general idea behind these things. Okay, so you just have to pay attention and don't allow the market to trick you out. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the charts proper and see how we can identify most of these charts, most of these patterns on our charts. Okay, so now we are here on the Euro USD charts. Okay, this is the daily time frame. So we'll start identifying these patterns. Like I said, you know, I always like to start from the monthly time frame. Okay, so let's not forget, let's have a revision here. We have our, this is one of the patterns, double top pattern. Then we have the double, that's with equal tops. Then we have the double top pattern with one higher touch, and then we have the double top with a lower touch. So we'll go to the monthly time frame. Okay, let me delete all this. Okay, so what do we have here? Now I want you to see what I'm doing, how I identify this thing. So here we have many double tops. Okay, and just come along with me, we'll identify it individually. So number one, I have this. Can you see this? This, and this. Okay, that's an M pattern. All right, let's do another one. We have this, and this. Okay, that's another one. All right, and then we also have this, and this. Okay, so now we've to identify three. There are more here, but those are the ones that actually stand out the most, and I'm actually going to talk about two of them right now because they are headed the direction I really want them to. So let's take another note again, another annotation. So this is what I want to do. For the purpose of reversal, okay, to identify a reversal on my charts, okay, when I say an M pattern, okay, this is what I like to see. We have a neckline here, okay. So now this is what I look out for. When price, after we have this top, the first top, the second top, all right, I don't do anything around here. Okay, what I want to see is a break of this neckline. Okay, what I want to see is a break of this neckline, and after that, okay, I like to see price do this. Okay, I like to see price return back to the neckline and then push further. But like I said, all these things are usually anticipations, okay, predictions, and you know, the market does what have a mind of its own. So like I always advise traders, always have a mind of your, always, you know, remain reactive, or either allow the markets to push you around. Okay, just know what you're looking for in the market. So this is what I like to, this is actually my pattern in the market. All right, the market goes up, down, and then it comes to the test neckline before going further. It can also do this, okay, but like I said, guys, it's all also need to do is to understand the general idea behind these things, the general concept behind these things, okay, how the formation comes about. So now let's go back to our charts. Well, one thing you need to understand is that price doesn't always do this, it doesn't always return back to the neckline. Okay, price can decide to do this at times. Okay, after a break, it just keeps going down. All right, like what I'm going to illustrate on this chart now. Okay, now after this double top here, okay, double top, say double top with a lower touch. If a double top with a lower touch, okay, after making this push to the upside, down, push to the upside and down. Okay, so we have a neckline here, so you can see that price have broken the neckline. All right, so now, like I said, I don't like to use single lines in highlighting my support and resistance. I like to do this. Okay, so this is the neckline. Okay, so this is the neckline. So now this is what price did. I'm gonna draw it out one more time. Okay, this is what price did. Price did this. Came up, pushed to the upside, came down, pushed to the upside, came to the neckline, broke the neckline. Okay, and then it returned back to the neckline here. Can you see that, guys? Okay, so this is actually my favorite move in the market. Okay, a break of support or resistance, a break of support, and then price returning back to the support to retest. Okay, so now this is what is happening here. Price broke this neckline and came back to the test and then made a push to the downside. So usually my area of interest, okay, will actually be around here. All right, okay, because this is mostly a given in the market. Okay, this push to the downside, so that's where I'll be laying my traps to catch trade. But of course, see, this is the monthly time frame. You're gonna wait years to catch this, but I'm just using the monthly time frame for illustration. Of course, you have to go down to the lower time frames to do your analysis. And like I've mentioned in my previous video, that depending on the kind of trader you are. Okay, are you a swing trader? Are you a day trader? Are you an investor? Okay, so depending on how long you like to hold your trade, okay, then you go about you know, trading from the higher time frame, like the monthly time frame. So now we go back to our charts. Okay, so this is the first pattern we have identified. Okay, the first form of identified on the monthly time frame. And then, like I said, it's not the time we're going to get this retest, price coming back to the neckline to retest. Okay, so sometimes price will just break through and just keep going. Okay, like now, for now, I'm watching this chart closely. Okay, so now the next one I'm going to identify here is this guy here. We have this, push to the upside, push to the downside, push to the upside, and then now we have a break. This chart is the current chart. It's an updated chart, and this is how I'm actually looking at this market right now. Okay, then here we have the neckline. We have the neckline here. Okay, so you can see that price actually broke this time, and of course this also a double top with a lower touch. You can see that price went up, came down, went up, came down, broke the neckline. And what I'm expecting price to do is this. I'm expecting price to pull back to this neckline. Okay, I'm expecting price to pull back to this neckline. Okay, now some of you may be asking that, are we going to wait for all this formation to take place and then only sell at the end of the day here? Wow, that might take you like 2 years. But like I said, as we go forward, I'll keep showing you, the little tricks in these things. Okay, so now what's happening is that, okay, this is actually how I'm actually waiting on this market. All right, now that I've seen an impulse to the downside like this, okay, I'm actually expecting price to go back and retest this neckline. Okay, so for in the interim, I'll be looking to buy this pair, okay, all the way to this point, and then when I get some sort of confirmation here that price is going to reverse, then I go in with the sell. I sell hard here. Okay, but for now, okay, I'm actually expecting price to go back to test this neckline and then continue its way down. Well, price can keep going, like I mentioned, the markets can keep going down. Alright, I never give us a retest. Like I said, you will always remain reactive in this market. Okay, you remain reactive. Now, so like I said, my game plan for this market right now is that I'm actually expecting price to, no matter how extended it has come, I expect it to make a retracement back to this neckline and then go down. Okay, so now let me go down to the weekly time frame and see if there's anything I can see there. The weekly time frame. Okay, so you remember this massive move to the downside. I think I should stick to the more recent price action. Remember this massive move to the downside. Okay, so now you need to understand that we can have double top instead of double top, instead of double top, instead of double top, depending on how you collate your time frames. Okay, like I've mentioned in my previous video, okay, multiple time frame analysis. All right, you can always find patterns instead of patterns. Okay, remember on the monthly time frame we had this. On the monthly time frame we had this big guy here. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead to identify some 1 or 2 double tops in the lower time frame, like the weekly time frame. Okay, so now there's one that's popping up at me here. Alright, and this is it here. Let me take this out so that it doesn't bring about confusion. Let me keep this to the side here because I'll be needing it. Okay, now like I said, we use chart patterns for mostly trend reversals. Okay, trend reversal, continuation and entry, but now we're looking at trend reversals. Okay, and also to identify the direction of the market. Now what do we have here? We have another double top here. Excuse me. We have another double top here. Okay, then we have another one here. So guys, can you see this? And then here we have a neckline. We have a neckline around here. Okay, like I said, so look, markets will not always give you a clean pattern. Okay, all you have to do is just to have the idea behind these things, understand the idea behind these things. Okay, so price push up, push down, push up, had the second top and then came down. Okay, you can see it actually like played around here and then it kept going down. Okay, you see in this case we never had a retest. Okay, price just came down and just kept on going. All right, this is what I usually expect price to do. Okay, but not this time around. Okay, so like I said, you react accordingly to what the market is giving to you. Okay, we have the neckline here. So this one is almost the, it's this is still a lower touch in a way. Yes, it's a lower touch. Okay, so almost a textbook kind of, you know, chart pattern here, almost a textbook kind of chart, double top. So now price just kept going down, going down, going down, going down. Okay, so price does this, price does this, right? So now let's pick another currency P, one or two currency P, and then we call it a wrap for double top. Okay, let me see. I also like to trade the pounds USD. With the pounds USD, of course, go to the monthly time frame. So I'm just quickly gonna try to identify these things. Okay, let's see. Do we have any here? Do we have any here? Okay, yeah. There's one big guy pumping up, as you know. It's a more recent trade. It's a very recent trade. Okay. Alright, so this is, let's identify one here. So guys, it's all about training your eyes to see these things. Okay, it's all about training your eyes. Okay, you can see price came here, had a retest, and then push to the downside. Okay, so we have this here. Check this out. We have one pattern here, and then we have another one here. Okay, then we have a neckline here, the neckline area. Alright, so guys, like I mentioned earlier, okay, don't be too bothered about having everything exact. Market will not give you that. Okay, it's just for you to understand the idea. If you can get the double tops and then your neckline, then you're fine. Okay, so see what price did here. It went up, came down, went up, came down, and then had the retest, and then they pushed to the downside. This is what I like to see in the market. This is what I like to see in the market. Okay, so the next one I can see here is the most recent one that's ongoing now. We have one top here, we have another top here, and then we have a neckline here. Okay, we have a neckline here. Okay, so now what's happening now is that we actually have a break, just like on the Euro USD. We actually have a break to the downside, and I'm actually expecting a retest of this neckline here. Okay, alright, so guys, you can take your time and go through lower time frames. You see these things everywhere. It's just for you to, by the time you spend your time looking at the charts, okay, you come to see that these things actually exist and they're actually tradable. Okay, so now you see in this case, okay, price, I'm actually looking at this pattern to be maybe probably a continuation pattern. All right, we had this big push to the downside, okay, big impulse, then we had this top, bottom, top, came down here, and now we're having a break to the downside. Okay, probably until we see what is going to play out here. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and see. Probably we may get something like this also. You never know, you never can tell. Like I said, like I always say, please remain reactive in this market. Okay, so let me see another chart. Let's pick, let me see. I also like to trade the MSC. NSD shape. Also like trade the NSD shape. So NSD CHF. So this is what we have here. We have this push to the upside, down, up, and then we have a break to the downside. Then we have a retest, and then now we are headed downwards. Okay. So now this is what I really want you to look at here. You can see that we have a break here. All right. Now the price came to this neckline, tested it, and went up. Tested the neckline, broke through it, and then came back down. So this, what I'm trying to bring to your attention here is that you don't always get clean moves in the market, clean price action. Okay, what I want you to understand is that just for you to have a general idea about how these things are formed and for you to be able to identify them on your charts. Okay, so here this double top is acting as a reversal pattern. Okay, price came to the price push had this impulse to the downside here like this. Okay, and then we have this push to the upside. All right, then price did this double top here, went up, and then headed, it's now headed south. Okay, so like I said, it's all about having a general idea about how these things play out. All right, let's go down to where weekly, go down to the weekly time frame. All right, so guys, if you take your time to look at these things, they just pop out at you. Okay, well, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while for you to be able to master these things on your charts. All right, so they're all over the place. Okay, now let me show you what I'm trading more recently. This was actually a recent trade for me. I think that was what, 2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. All right, so this is how I identified it. Except you see this, there's a double top here. All right, there's a double top here, and then we have this. Okay, so this is a double top. It's a double top here. We have a neckline. So price did this. Price is this, came all the way to the top. Yep. And then we have a push to the upside. Like here, you can see we've not gotten the retest. Okay, we've not gotten the retest here. Alright, so now what I did after I saw this double top here, I went down to the lower time frame and then tried to join the trend, tried to join the market somewhere around all this move. Okay, I have collected some little killings in this trade here. So you can keep scrolling down. You see the patterns almost everywhere. You see the patterns almost everywhere on all time frames. Okay, like right now. Okay, let me identify one here. So just have to spend your time with the charts. All right. This is a double top with a higher touch. All right, and it's a neckline. Okay, let me see if I can identify another one, the 4 hour. This one top here. This another top, and then we have a neckline here. So this is the pattern. It is hidden, but you see, because I've actually spent a lot of time looking at my charts, so I can easily identify it. Can you see this? Alright, price came here and then came down a little bit. Okay, so like I said, guys, price will not always give you a clean shot all the time. Alright, just for you to be able to identify these things, okay, you should be able to dissect your charts and see how you can bring about your trade entries. Let me see another chart you can look out for this. Let me see. I like to trade gold. Also like to trade gold. Okay, let's open the gold chart. Okay, I'm not going to spend much time on gold. Let me see. I'm not going to spend much time on gold. Okay, like this is what I'm looking at gold for now from the monthly time frame. Now for you to identify where, if you ask where's gold headed to now, okay, this is a clean reversal pattern on gold. For those of us trading gold, okay, this is what I'm seeing on gold. I have a push to the upside, then we have downside to the upside, and then we are here at the neckline right now. So now we are just sitting on the sidelines, and let's see what Mr. Gold is going to do. Alright, so here we have one touch and then the other touch, double top. This is almost an equal touch. Alright, so you can see how price was being messy around this place, but the general idea is that you can see that we have a clean top, a clean double top here. Alright, so what we're expecting price now to do is this. Probably we can have a bounce back up here, or we can have a breakthrough, a breakout here. Alright, and then price will can decide to do this also if it pleases. Okay, we're actually banking on it to do that. Okay, we want it to come, we test that neckline and then head south. Well, I will not be waiting for price to come do all this and then come back. This is a monthly time frame, guys. Alright, so what I'm looking is that we're looking to do is that once there's a break here, I'll keep looking for selling opportunities until I get under reversal, maybe around this area, and then price pushes up. I look for buying opportunities, and then I also look for selling opportunities as it goes down. But like I said, like I always say, we remain reactive in this market. Okay, so guys, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course follow this channel, hit the notification bell so you can always get notified when we post new videos for your own intellectual edification. So now guys, let's call it a wrap on double top. Now we are going to go to the next chart pattern, which is the double bottom. See you in the next video.